Hello and welcome to my channel. Last week I did a video on how you can create a SaaS pricing page focused on conversion. So I would highly recommend that you watch that video first before watching this one, because then this would probably make a lot more sense. So this week I am going to dissect the pricing page of Intercom, a conversational relationship platform, and talk about what it does really well and what can be improved. So if you're an entrepreneur, product manager, UX designer, salesperson, marketeer, or anyone who's involved into building SaaS products, this video is for you to get inspired and also make note of things that you should probably avoid. Let's jump right in. As soon as I land on the Intercom pricing page, the first thing that grabs my attention is this headline. It creates an aspiration in the mind of the user that yes, this is how you build great customer relationships, and I am going to put my money in the right product. So they're trying to sell you an experience rather than just a product with a long list of features. When you scroll down a bit, you'll notice that their plans have been bundled to cater to different needs of the buyer persona. For example, there are two plans for basic chat and messaging, and then you have accelerate and scale for automation and sending messages at scale. And in each of the plans, you'll notice that only those plans have been highlighted that are valued by that buyer persona. All the other features have been hidden behind this See More button. This model, where plans are focused on specific type of user needs, it really ensures that users are able to quickly identify themselves with one of the plans. And second, it makes sure that user does not have to go through a long list of features irrespective of whether they need it or not. They have also highlighted their most popular plan, but unlike most SaaS businesses, which just mark these plans as most popular or recommended, they have added a data metric to it, which is quite neat. Since they say that chosen by 53% of the businesses, it is implied that it is the most popular plan, and it creates an impression in the mind of the user that yes, I am making an informed and a data-backed decision. A common theme which is followed across all the pricing plans and add-ons present on this page is that they focus on the problems that they are trying to solve for the user, or an outcome that a user could potentially see if they use the product. For example, if I hovered over the Slack integration over here, it'll show me a pop-up which says receive and respond to Intercom conversations in Slack, which highlights what it does for the user. And this happens for all the features over here, but there was no visual indicator for me to know that these pop-ups would appear, which was not so intuitive. Also, these pop-ups do not appear for each and every feature. For example, it does not appear for ticketing workflows. So there's a clear lack of consistency over here. This probably would be based on the assumption whether a feature is self-explanatory or not. But to be honest, just by reading ticketing workflows over here, I do not quite understand what it solves for the user. So two things that could have really improved this part. One, a visual indicator to demonstrate that these features could be hovered upon. And two, maintaining consistency in terms of showing pop-ups across all the features. At the bottom of the page, there is a customer testimonial which highlights the impact that the customer saw after using the product instead of just focusing on how good the product is, which is quite nice. With that being said, there's a lot to be desired in terms of building trust with the prospective customers. They need to assure their prospective customers that they will be in good company and they will find solutions to the problems like they have promised above. Now, they do have a separate page which highlights on how different customers of Intercom are finding value from the product. So if they could add short snippets from these stories, customer logos, and user testimonials like the one we saw on the previous page, it'll create a much higher impact on the mind of the user and reaffirm their decision to buy the product. Let's now look at how they calculate price for their users. This pop-up for once looks a little overwhelming and difficult to understand. The first price that you see over here is a base price, which in this case is $39 per month, which includes one seat and 2,000 people. Now this information could have been included in this particular area so that I know that one seat and 2,000 people are included in the base cost. Then there's a monthly cost of $9 for every additional seat that you'll include in this plan. And then there is a monthly cost of $50 for every 1,000 additional people reached via Intercom. So imagine if there was a business with 5,000 users reached and 7 customer-facing representatives, then there was no way for that user to know the price of using the product upfront. They will actually have to calculate the final price in their head, which is not so intuitive and requires mental effort, and humans hate mental effort. And there are add-ons as well which have not been accounted for in this pop-up yet. So if there was an interface which assisted the user to estimate the monthly cost of using the product, they would be much more confident in signing signing up for the free trial as opposed to right now. They can do that by adding a slider widget which helps them choose the number of people reached. They can have a simple text field which lets them input the number of seats that they want to purchase, a drag and drop interface for them to add and remove add-ons, and finally displaying the amount that the user will be charged at the end of the billing cycle right over here. Evaluating the pricing of the product just now, there were a lot of questions that came to my mind. For example, what happens if I cross the pricing bracket in the middle of the month? Will I be charged in the next month, or will it be added in the same billing cycle? What happens if I add an additional seat in the middle of the month? Will the cost for that new user be prorated? What happens if I include add-ons? Will they be billed separately? And multiple other questions on similar lines. All of these questions impact the user's ability to make the decision to buy the product. So Intercom should really talk to their users, address all their fears, uncertainties, and doubts, and make sure that answers to all these questions are available right on the pricing page. Right now, there was nowhere I could find answer to these questions. You'll see that Intercom has customers all across the globe, but price localization is something that they have not tackled as of yet. So if you open this page in India or UK, you'll see the same prices in US dollars. According to Profitwell, companies that localize their prices for different markets saw a 30% higher growth as compared to their counterparts who didn't. From the user's perspective, there are two problems when the prices are not localized. One, when the user encounters a currency which is not native, it breaks their purchase flow. They suddenly have to try and figure out what it is going to cost them, which requires math, which requires mental effort, and again, humans hate mental effort. And second, users love predictability for their recurring purchases in terms of how much they are going to pay for them each month, so that when they're reviewing their statements, they can immediately ignore the charges which are familiar and only look for anomalies. This predictability is affected by the fluctuating exchange prices, even though the change might not be so huge. They could probably go for a cosmetic localization or a true localization, about which I talk in detail in my previous video. Testing with your customers and iteration is probably the most important thing that you can do to your pricing page. And I was quite happy to see that Intercom is doing that. I figured that when I was shooting the video and this happened. Wait, what? Intercom just changed the whole pricing page while I was recording the video. So when I was in the middle of my recording, the whole page changed. I had to take a break and rethink what I was going to talk about and shoot the whole thing again. I thought they might have made a new release, overhauled their whole pricing page, but no. Some people were still seeing the old page, but I was one of those users which was seeing the new pricing page. Now they might be doing a A/B testing, a staged rollout, or testing different prices in different markets. Who knows? But if you're testing for different prices in different markets for same features and capabilities, make sure that you are using a robust A/B testing framework. Because if your customers realize that you are charging different prices for same set of features and capabilities, that might backfire and erode customers' trust from your product. If I was able to give you even an ounce of new perspective for your pricing page, and if you'd like to hear from me again, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Share this video with all your SaaS friends and family, and I'll see you all in the next one.